What's up, guys? My name's Noah. I make music as Haterade, and you are watching The Productive Producer. In one of my recent videos, I got a request from one of you guys asking for me to talk about my story. I initially didn't really think that was really interesting to the general population, but then again, I'm not really catering this to the general population. I'm catering this to you guys, you who are watching this video right now. After thinking about it for a little bit, if you guys can learn from my mistakes and my wins in the past, then that's probably a good thing. So that's what we're going to talk about. Before we get into that, I wanted to share with you guys, I've got a free finishing music checklist in the description of this video. You can check it out. It's absolutely free, and it has a bunch of tips on how to finish your music quicker and hopefully become a better producer as a result. And don't forget, join the Discord too. We're in there hanging out every day. So we're going way back, long time ago when I was in junior high school. My friend, his name is Billy Cooper. He is from San Diego. He is an awesome drummer. Shout out Billy if you're watching this. He installed a copy of Fruity Loops. I don't even remember which one it was. It was the old one, and it was the demo version. So I couldn't even save any projects for forever. But he installed that on my mom's laptop. I don't have a ton of memories of me spending hours and hours and hours and hours as a kid just trying to make beats. I was having a good time, and I still did it consistently enough to where I could remember taking my mom's laptop with us on a camping trip and me making beats in the car. So a little bit later after that, I've been playing violin this whole time, by the way. I played violin ever since I was a little kid. I don't play anymore, if you're wondering. But at the time, I was at a violin camp, and I had met this other producer. I wish I was still in contact with him. His name is Kyle. He went by K-Dub at the time. We shared beats back and forth, and he gave me a bunch of samples, which I had been using 2 years. I had been using a demo version of FL Studio with only export enabled. That was the only way I was able to keep my beats, was exporting them after I was done. And using only stock sounds from Fruity Loops this was like what, 14, 15 years old. So this is 2006, 2007. So after all that, I still didn't really consider myself a producer. I didn't even think I could do that for a living. I thought that was something that you had to have a big major record deal to do, and I didn't really have a pathway laid out for me. I didn't look up to any producers. I think I sort of looked up to Scott Storch, but I didn't really understand that dynamic of producers at the time. It wasn't until after high school, and I was still making beats throughout this whole time. It was never something that I just stopped doing. It was just a fun hobby for me. So in high school, I was introduced to dance music from my AP government teacher, and I can't remember his name. During class, he played Warp 1.9 from the Bloody Beetroots, which, if you guys are an old, I say old, like it's a long time ago, but this song was huge in 2009. Warp 1.9 was the rave anthem at the time, and he played it in class, and I was like, holy crap, what is this? I tried to find everything from the Bloody Beetroots. Then I discovered Crookers, Mastercraft, Steve Aoki, Afrojack, and it got me interested in electronic music and rave music. Anyway, that summer I ended up going to EDC, which was in 2010, the summer of 2010, the last year that it was in Los Angeles. And from that point on, it changed my life. After that, I knew for a fact that I wanted to be a musician. After being there, witnessing that massive event with all those people and all of that amazing music, it was just incredible. So that's where I was. That's what I wanted to do. Right when I got home, I needed to figure out how to DJ. I started learning how to DJ. I was one of my friends at the time. He and I started DJing together, trying to get any sort of shows, gigs that we possibly could. This usually meant running party buses, selling tickets to fill up party buses, take people downtown just so we could get some side stage time slot at 9 p.m. That sort of hustling. So after a while, he sort of fell off, wasn't really into it, and I sort of just went on doing it by myself. I was making dubstep under the name KIA. And this was around 2011, 2011, 2012. And I was trying to do it on my own, trying to figure out what I should do and how I should go forward. And I was still in that hustle mentality, really trying to earn respect in the industry and pay my dues. So while playing a show in San Diego, I met one of my great friends, Mike Kenny. He's such a good friend of mine. He still makes music from time to time too. But he and I started hanging out. At the time, he was making progressive house, I was making dubstep, and we were trying to figure out a way to mesh those together, and it wasn't really working. During this time, we also had discovered the Flosstradamus Original Dawn remix, which I think was a lot of people's intro to trap music. And we started trying to make our own trap music, and we did, and people started to like it. And I mean, it was like, listening back now, it was kind of lame, but at the time we liked it and other people liked it, so we kept going with it. And then we decided to form Haterade after that. So after a few years of doing Haterade, Mike decided that he wanted to take it into another direction. He wanted to sort of do more chill, laid back music. I wanted to keep doing the hype music, and so we kind of parted ways. And like I said, Mike and I are still friends to this day. I was just talking to him on the phone a few days ago. He's still back there in San Diego, still a great friend of mine, but we just had different creative differences at the time. So after that, I got married and I moved to Los Angeles to go to Icon. I went to Icon Collective for 1 year, and it was a great experience. I learned a lot and I met some really cool people. Even after I graduated Icon, I still wasn't doing music full time. Even after all the successes with Haterade, I still wasn't making a living full time in music until I had graduated Icon and I was offered a job as a sound designer and producer and instructor through Cymatics. And when I started doing that, I was then able to go full time in music. And I started diversifying a little bit, started to do work for myself as well as work for Cymatics. So I was doing one-on-one coaching and mentoring sessions with other producers and work for hire production on Sound Better, sort of just getting my hands into anything that I could at the time. So after that, I moved back to San Diego with my wife, and we kept going with that for a while, and then we just realized it was probably better for us to head out here to Tennessee. So we had moved here, and that was right when I started the channel. It was right when we moved to Tennessee, and that brings us to now. So currently right now, I'm working for this company called the Online Recording Studio out of the UK. I'm still working for Cymatics, still doing stuff for them, still teaching, mentoring one-on-one, and still working work for hire stuff when it comes across my desk. And I'm still doing Haterade stuff. Still working on my own music because I feel like that's important too. Plus, I'm doing some other stuff with Sync and writing for albums and those sort of pitches as well. So that's what's going on with me. That's my whole story. That's how I glossed over a couple of different details, but from start to finish, when I started making music to where I am now was almost 17 years. But if there's one thing that I can share with you guys based on what I've gone through, it'd probably be play this for the long game. If you want to be a professional music producer and get paid for what you do, just stick it out for a long time. Just keep after it. From when I started making music to when I was getting paid to make music was 13 years. That's a long time. And you guys will probably get there a lot faster than me. But it did take me a long time and a lot of persistence. I could have given up in year 12 and gone back to doing something else, and it would have never happened for me. And I'm still working, still trying to make it happen, still trying to make it better, still trying to grow and improve. It's not something that just takes care of itself when you get there. So I hope this was at least entertaining, if not maybe a little bit helpful for you. Hit up the Discord. I'm in there most of the time. You can drop a message in there. I'm dropping samples. I'm dropping just other assets and just hanging out. So you guys can come out and we can chat, talk about music, talk about whatever. And I also have a free finishing music checklist in the description of this video if you guys want to grab that for yourselves. It's just a bunch of tips on how to finish your music faster, finish more music, and become a better producer, which is what this whole channel is about. So thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.